What if I told you there's a level of intelligence that has nothing to do with your IQ score? It's something way more powerful. It's the ability to look at the most complex system on the planet, the one running inside your own head, and actually know how to rewire it. We're going to call it metacognitive intelligence. And to really get what that means, we have to start with a story about one man, one computer, and one decision that almost ended the world.
Okay, picture this. It's 1983. We're deep inside a secret Soviet nuclear command bunker. You know, concrete walls, buried underground, the whole deal. It's just past midnight, and the air is thick with Cold War tension. The entire world is on a knife's edge, and it doesn't even know it.
And then it happens. A blaring, high-pitched alarm just rips through the silence. Every screen in the room flashes a bright, terrifying red. And the Soviet Union's state-of-the-art satellite system, the best tech they have, delivers one simple, heart-stopping message. Launch detected.
The system says an American nuclear missile is in the air, heading straight for them. And before anyone can even react, the system flags another one, and another, and another. A total of 5 missiles are now screaming towards the Soviet Union, and the computer's verdict is absolute, cold, and clear. This is a confirmed nuclear attack.
Now, the officer on duty that night is a man named Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, and his only job, is to follow protocol. And that protocol is brutally simple. Confirm the launch up the chain of command, which will trigger an immediate all-out nuclear retaliation. We're talking hundreds of Soviet nukes heading for America within minutes. World War III. So really think about it. You're in his chair. The alarm is screaming. What do you do? In that insane moment, with everything on the line, Petrov does something incredible. He doesn't just react, he thinks. He asks a question that the multi-million-dollar computer system was never programmed to ask. Wait a minute, if the Americans are really starting a nuclear war, would they only send 5 missiles? Wouldn't it be a massive, overwhelming attack? Hundreds of them?
Petrov made a gut call. He ignored the flashing screens, picked up the phone, and reported it as a system malfunction. And you know what? He was right. The satellites had mistaken the sun's reflection off of some clouds for missile engines. He saved the world. Why? Because he didn't just blindly trust the system. He understood its rules and he saw its limitations. That is metacognitive intelligence. And it's not just about computers. It's about understanding the most complex system we know, our own minds.
You see, our brains are a lot like that Soviet satellite system. They run on all these pre-programmed rules and patterns, these little invisible loops. They drive our behavior day in and day out, and the scariest part is, most of the time we have no idea they're even running. We think we're in charge, but really we're on autopilot.
For instance, you've got the ego loop. You know this one. Someone you trust, maybe your partner or your boss, gives you some honest, critical feedback. And what happens? Instead of listening, your walls go up, you get defensive, you make excuses, an argument starts. Nothing gets better, and you just end up repeating the exact same mistake down the line. That's a loop.
Or how about the fear loop? There's that big, important, kind of scary thing you know you need to do. Maybe it's asking for a raise or starting that business, but the thought of it is terrifying, so you put it off. You procrastinate, and you get this moment of relief, right? But the problem doesn't go away. In fact, it gets bigger, and bit by bit, that fear starts to shrink the size of your world.
And oh yeah, there's the one we are all intimately familiar with, the habit loop. You grab your phone. I'll just check this for 5 minutes, you tell yourself. And then you look up, and an hour of your life has just vanished down a social media rabbit hole. You feel that little pang of regret, you swear you'll do better tomorrow, and then you do the exact same thing.
And don't for a second think this is just a minor thing. This is huge. Research out of Duke University found that almost half, 45%, of everything you do every single day is not a conscious choice. It's a habit. It's one of these automated loops. Nearly half of your life is being lived on autopilot. So why? Why do our brains do this? Why do they rely so heavily on these automatic programs? Well, the answer gets into some really wild stuff from modern neuroscience. Here's the truth. You are not experiencing reality directly. Not at all. What you are experiencing is your brain's simulation of reality, its best guess.
Let me show you what I mean. We're going to do a quick experiment. Take a close look at the inside of this spinning mask. It's hollow, right? It's concave, so it should look like it's curved inward. Just keep your eyes on it as it turns.
So what did you see? I'm willing to bet that for almost all of you, even though you know it's hollow, your brain made you see a normal face, one that curves outward. Why? Your brain literally overwrote reality because its internal database has seen thousands of faces that stick out and basically zero that curve in. So it took the data from your eyes and forced it to fit the pattern it already knew. This isn't some cheap trick. It's a core function of your brain called predictive processing. See, your brain's main job isn't really to see the world accurately. It's to predict the world efficiently. It builds a model of how things should be, and then just uses your senses to scan for anything that doesn't match its prediction. And when the prediction is strong enough, like with the face, it will literally bend what you see to make the world fit its model.
Now here's where it all connects. All these different things, the ego loop, the fear loop, the way you see a mask, they aren't just random glitches. They are all being controlled by one central master program in your brain, a kind of operating system for your reality.
And that master program is your identity. Now, I'm not talking about some vague philosophical idea. From a neuroscience perspective, your identity is the brain's ultimate predictive model. It's the core set of beliefs that filters everything you experience and determines how you automatically react to the world. It's the source code.
And this brings us to a really critical idea. If our brains are designed to protect this master program, this identity, even if it means twisting reality, then the true test of intelligence isn't how many facts you can memorize. The real test is what happens when you're proven wrong.
This is absolutely fascinating. In one study, researchers gave a bunch of math whizzes some data. When they were told the numbers were about, say, a new skin cream, they analyzed it perfectly. But then they gave them the exact same data, the same numbers, and just told them it was about gun control. And suddenly their logic completely fell apart. People started twisting the numbers to fit what they already believed. Their high IQ didn't make them more accurate. It just made them better at defending their identity.
So here's the bottom line. True intelligence isn't a static thing. It's not a library of facts. It's adaptation. Think about life on Earth. The species that survived weren't the strongest. They were the ones most adaptable to change. It's the same with our minds. The most intelligent person is the one who can update their own core programming, their identity, when reality gives them new evidence.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. How do we fix it? How do we actually go about rewiring our own identity to be more flexible, more adaptive? Well, it's not about trying harder. It's about building a new system, a new feedback loop for yourself, and it breaks down into 3 core steps.
First, you have to adopt an adaptive mindset. This is the foundation. You have to start treating your beliefs less like precious treasures to be defended and more like scientific hypotheses to be tested. Second, and this is huge, you have to engineer your social environment. Who you surround yourself with literally programs what you believe is possible. And third, you have to take repeated action. This is where the rubber meets the road because your actions are what prove to your brain who you are becoming.
Let's just focus on the power of environment for a second. It's staggering. Look at studies on quitting smoking. If you try to do it all by yourself, your odds are not great. A success rate of maybe 5 to 8%. But if you join a support group, if you put yourself in an environment where not smoking is the norm and everyone is on that same journey, your success rate skyrockets. It triples. Your environment normalizes your new identity.
And finally, there's action. And this part is a little bit backwards from how we usually think. There's something called self-perception theory, and it basically says that we don't figure out who we are by staring at the ceiling and thinking about it. We figure out who we are by watching what we do. If you start going to the gym consistently, your brain observes that behavior and concludes, I guess I'm the kind of person who goes to the gym. Your actions write your identity.
So, in the end, it all comes back to this. Intelligence isn't about being right. It's about getting less wrong over time. The smartest person in the room isn't the one who knows the most. It's the one who can adapt the fastest. The one who can let go of an old idea when a better one comes along. So the real question isn't how smart you are, it's how fast are you willing to change.